We, people, are a hungry beast. The human experience is a physical experience. Our bodies are animal bodies. It is the animal in us that roams the streets, an animal that hungrily looks out into the world. It is our inner beast that defines how we look at this world, and then when we see that world, we know that we are nothing but a beast that wants to devour the world and everything in it. We are a beast, and our hunger is a longing. It is a longing to be bright and beautiful and live a life that is filled with friends and lovers, with lovers who once were merely friends and with friends who once were also lovers. We go through this life until our days are done, and those friends and lovers are what define us. All of us, beasts, looking to connect with the person next to us and looking to devour whatever is in front of us. And yet, we let ourselves be led like sheep. We allow ourselves to be betrayed by the promises of capitalism, of communism, of socialism, and of fascism. We get excited by promises of affluence, and yet we ignore the affluence we have at our disposal. We let ourselves be tricked into shame. For thousands of years, we have been taught to be afraid of our beastly bodies. We have been taught to be afraid of touch, to be afraid of smell. We have been taught that our bodies are shameful things to be covered up with, some specific body parts even more shameful than other parts. And all that has made us angry and gullible. How can that be? How can it be that for so many years we have allowed all that? Well, the thing is, the God of the material world has whispered into our ears and told us the body is vulnerable. And it's true, the body does need to keep warm. And because we have a body that needs to be kept warm, we long for certain things like clothes and food and houses. And because we have a brain, we started to build, to travel and to trade, so that we may have these good things. We started measuring our welfare by the availability of yet more good things. We started to hoard, and then we believed welfare equals wealth. Then one day we started measuring other people's value by their wealth, and then we turned into monsters of thought and not of body. And now all we do and say, how we interact with our surroundings, how we relate to the other living things, it seems all that is ruled by our thoughts, and all these thoughts float around our brain. We feel our heads explode, and we're scared. There's no other species as obsessed with itself as humans. Human beings fret over each other's looks as much as over each other's thoughts. People think their thoughts are what define them, and they fear each other's bodies as much as they fear their own. And entire countries are going wild, but not in a good way. So now, most people are afraid to be what they really are. They listen to the voice of the dark one in their head, and they ignore the calling of their body. They are afraid of being beasts, and instead they are merely clumps of flesh, their sparkling intellect dulled by the promises of industry, and their bodies a thing to fear. People have turned into monsters, hoarding whatever can be hoarded, jealously guarding what they think is their property, jealous of their husbands and wives, envious of each other's wealth. People have turned into a new type of hamster, running on the treadmill of the insane society they created just because the species once needed to keep warm. We are constantly scared into anger, shame and envy. We have allowed the sweet whispering of the God of the material world to trick our brains into stupidity. But don't forget that the brain is just a part of the body. It's just another organ, and anything the brain comes up with, it can only come up with because there is a body to sustain it. Thoughts may be highly original. Great thinkers may think great thoughts. Yet, without a body, nothing much would happen. No body, no brains. The body is where it's at. Now, the human body is an amazing thing. It can live almost anywhere, on land and on water. It can adapt to a life in the woods or a life in the mountains. It can sustain itself through the warmest summers and the harshest winters. And what's more, our bodies are beautiful. It's not just the skinny young girls of advertising that are beautiful. There's also great beauty in the tall, the dark, the svelte, the old, the flexible, and the not so flexible. There is beauty in the kind eyes of a stranger, in the way a man arches his back. There is beauty in almost any body in motion. So you need to ask yourself, are you living a life that is true to the beautiful beast that you are? Are you enjoying this animal body, or are you frightened? Do you feel shame and disapproval when others look at you? And do you disapprove of the bodies of others? Are you scared of certain body parts? Do you feel shame when you see a naked body? Do you let it all go to waste without even enjoying your slow descent into old age? Or are you proud to be inside of this living thing, inside of this body that can bring such great pleasure to yourself and to others? Are you proud to feel the sensations the body receives? For reasons that are not so mysterious, the weak are fooled into fear of the human body. The fact that we could be in love and enjoy our bodies instead of being workers does not sit well with the God of the material world. The God of the material world, the Dark One, is in cahoots with those that wish to manipulate us, those that thrive on making us feel ashamed for the way we look at our bodies, for the way we are. Human bodies, human beings are being shamed away from themselves and into capitalism or fascism or communism. And as we succumb to the lure of these false prophets, we lose touch with the goddess of the invisible world. The God of the material world has led us astray, and he is celebrating his victory over the goddess of the invisible world. But the goddess is still out there, and it's not too late to see that she needs our attention. If the thought of the naked human body scares you in any way, then you need to reconnect to the goddess of the invisible world. You need to learn to see that instead of a frightened monster, you can be this amazing animal, a body of love. And more than just understand it, you need to feel what you are. You need to practice it. You are a beautiful beast. Go out and enjoy